Welcome back on your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. Yvonne Sanchez, the women's basketball coach at UNM, is alongside. Coach Sanchez, it's time for our Subway Ask the Coach segment. Fans can log on to golobos.com and submit their question. This week we've got one from Brittany in Berlin. And she noticed on the schedule there's no home and home with New Mexico State this year, just the one game at the Pit. Is that just a quirk of this year's schedule? Are you going to try to schedule them twice again next year, or is it becoming more difficult to get into with the Aggies?
Well, it's a great question, Brittany. You know, when Mark first took over, I don't think he really liked the home and home with UTEP, home and home with New Mexico. Took too many games off his schedule. And we had sat down and talked about it, and I wasn't for it, obviously, at first. And Mark's a great guy, trust me. He's a good friend, and I love him dearly. So we kind of went back and forth. But, you know, now that we have the game one time on the schedule, it makes it a little bit more interesting. And I credit him. It's not a bad idea. We have 18 games in our league schedule now. You know, we play them once for bragging rights, which isn't a bad idea. We'll go down there and play them next year. And they're pretty beat up and hurt, too. So they're going to have a full roster next year. And, you know, it actually... You know, you look at the future of it, and it looks pretty good.
All right, the Ask the Coach segment, golobos.com to submit your question for head coach Yvonne Sanchez. Now, it's time for our Subway Player of the Game. Subway restaurants eat fresh. I think this week it's pretty clear it was Antisha Brown, and this is a big three-pointer right here.
You know it is, and, you know, it's a great setup by Bryce Owens on the break. Tisha's a ready shooter. Again, Coach Brown works with the guards, and they do a terrific job of shooting every day in practice and shooting game shots. And Tisha's played well all year. I can't think of one game that she didn't have a good game. And, you know, you could look back at Binghamton, but nobody played well against them. And Tisha's really done a nice job. She's worked hard. Off season, September, October, you know, that whole time she was in the gym by herself, putting up shots, working on her handles, and it's paying off by the way she's doing things now.
You said she's a ready shooter. I'll tell you, these numbers are terrific from this game. First off, a game-high 21 points, 8 of 13 from the field, 1 for 2 from deep, and 4 for 5 from the line. That's nearly perfect game.
You know, it's great. And you look at our numbers last night, we shot 50% from the field, 50% from the three-point line. Free throw line, we were 53%, and we left 10 points on the board. And we got to get better. We shot 80% the game before, so you know, they've got to step up and make free throws, and they will. But Antisha is everything that I expected her to be, and she continues to try to get better. And I tell you, I'm probably harder on her than any player, you know, on the team right now. And she responds well because she knows that she's going to be a very, very good player. And she wants to play beyond college, and I think she can.
Dribble penetration from New Mexico State, getting to the rim, drive to the basket with some points in the paint that way. Maybe not as many necessarily in terms of second chance, but they got a lot of points in the paint by driving to the goal. Is that something that you want to work on defensively?
We need to. You know, they run that dribble drive offense, and we didn't switch when we were supposed to at times. And, you know, they got in the paint a lot. They beat us in the paint by 2. I think it was, you know, 28-30. With points in the paint. And that wasn't necessarily their post players. It was just driving in the paint and getting layups, or getting kicks and getting layups. And, you know, we got to make sure that we prevent teams, especially Stanford next time, to get out of the paint.
All right, when we come back, we've got our Santa Ana Star Casino Play of the Game. That's coming up next with the head basketball coach on the women's side, Yvonne Sanchez, on your Lobo Coaches Show.